From MTN News, you're watching Montana This Morning.
Affordable housing moving closer and closer to the November 2021 ballot. I'm Gabby Crevitt, and I'll have that full story coming up.
And Bozeman's new chief of police ready to continue the work in getting body cams for his officers. We'll have an update on that as well. Meantime, 6:30 on this Monday. Chet Lehman, Matt Elwell with you here. Holly Brantley is off. The pine trees continue to struggle to be vertical out there right now thanks to the wind, Matt.
If you put your trash cans out last night, there's a good chance it's in the neighbor's yard 3 doors down.
Rescue and recovery soon to happen.
Wow, 50, 60, even 70 mile an hour wind gusts already this morning, and now we're dealing with some scattered snow showers. Temperatures have dropped to nearly 25 degrees in some cases over the course of the last 3 hours. Looks like our temperatures are much cooler. Those are wind speeds, wind gusts across the area, anywhere between 20 and 50 mile an hour wind gusts across the region this morning. The snow is working its way eastward, so if you're driving along I-90 from Livingston back toward Billings, you'll probably be dealing with some scattered snow showers and a lot of wind. Obviously, we do have high wind warnings out across the area. Temperatures having a tough time getting warmed up. I think mid-30s, about all the warmer we can see these temperatures get throughout the day. We'll be in and out of cloud cover and in and out of showers. We'll break down your complete forecast in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Matt. You know it's a bad day when the wind is Bozeman Yellowstone International Airport is 20 miles an hour stronger than it is in Livingston.
Yes.
Crazy stuff. 6:31 now, our top story this half hour. Central Valley fire crews called to a home in the River Rock subdivision near Belgrade about 3:15 this morning. Central Valley fire trucks and ambulance lined up down Woodman Drive in the early morning hours. The homeowner, their house escaped major injury or damage. Fire officials tell MTN News that rags which had been used to stain some wood, then thrown in the trash, caught fire. Flames spread to the siding of the house and then burned through to the garage. Homeowner smelled smoke and called for help. Fire crews were able to extinguish the flames before they spread to the rest of the home. Both residents were treated at the scene for smoke inhalation but did not need any further treatment. Well, heavy winds are causing problems across many parts of Montana. Take a look at this video from a wildland fire burning near Browning this weekend. Blackfeet Tribe public information officers say the fire just west of the community of Blackfoot. Now, everyone who lives in that area has been evacuated. The middle school gym opened for those who need a place to go. Also, Highway 87 in an area near the fire also was closed until about 3:30 yesterday afternoon. Emergency crews from several agencies, including Blackfeet Fire Management, Chief Mountain Hotshots, and more, working to get that fire contained. Well, Bozeman City Commission says the affordable housing crisis a persisting problem for young families in the city's workforce. MTN's Gabby Crevitt tells us the commission held a work session that will likely result in residents deciding if they want to help pay for more affordable housing projects come November election.
The Bozeman City Commission says they're preparing to lose what they call one of their affordable housing tools as the Montana legislature looks to ban inclusionary zoning in Montana. So with one funding door closing, commissioners may ask later this year if residents would consider helping chip in to some of those affordable housing projects.
It's such an issue right now that we have to take advantage of all possible ways to see if our electorate supports affordable housing.
The Bozeman City Commission held a work session where city staff fleshed out different options for ballot measures that would increase property taxes to help fund affordable housing projects in Bozeman. After reviewing options, commissioners agreed to staff's recommendations to propose a 7 mil levy that would raise just under $10 million in 10 years.
And the 7 mil levy for the affordable housing program, we think that's a really good sweet spot. That's an impact of the average homeowner of $33 a year.
Deputy Mayor Terry Cunningham says at this point there are 2 ways funds go into the city's community housing program.
We have been allocating either 3 or 5 mils to the community housing fund. And so from the general fund, we've been allocating some funds to that. And also the secondary fund is the inclusionary zoning that a developer can opt to pay cash in lieu as opposed to actually develop affordable housing.
Cunningham says finding more funding options for affordable housing projects is more important than ever as the Montana legislature moves towards banning inclusionary zoning in Montana.
All signs indicate that that will be taken away from us as a tool. And with that, not only goes our ability to have below market rate housing, but it also, we lose the cash in lieu option as well.
City staff will start working on the ballot language for the affordable housing mill levy later this summer, which is expected to be on the ballot November 2021. Reporting in Bozeman, Gabby Crevitt, MTN News.
Thank you, Gabby. And other headlines this morning, Bozeman City Police continue to work towards getting body cameras now under new leadership. Last month, we had a three-part series about body-worn cameras in Gallatin County. Now with a newly appointed police chief, the city of Bozeman's Jim Veldkamp says the department will continue on the same path to get those body cams. Chief Veldkamp says at this time, the department working on a contract with a vendor for the body cams, and says the city of Bozeman and the police department are working on lining up the logistics with patrol vehicle cameras and public safety center once funding comes through.
We are absolutely going to take a moment, not move forward with body-worn cameras until we've engaged the community, made sure they understand what it means, make sure we have an opportunity to listen to them and learn from them to help us craft our policies, put together a very robust program, and then we'll add in the body-worn cameras.
Chief Veldkamp, by the way, who was serving as the department's interim chief of police, was appointed Bozeman's new full police chief late last week, I should say. In national headlines, President Biden this week expected to reveal a major infrastructure package to fix roads, bridges, as well as address education and even childcare concerns for some Americans. Price tag expected to be in the trillions of dollars. So how will President Biden pay for it? The answer could be new taxes. So who could see an increase? Our Joe St. George with a look at who the president considers wealthy enough to pay more.
It's no secret this country has an infrastructure problem. Roads, bridges, water lines. The American Society of Civil Engineers recently gave the U.S. a grade of C- for our infrastructure. Casey Dinges is with the group.
All parts of the country have issues. Red states, blue states, purple states.
Well, this week, President Biden is expected to reveal his idea for a massive infrastructure plan, tentatively scheduled for release on Wednesday in Pittsburgh. And while the exact details are not out yet, we know it will likely be in the trillions and drastically impact everything from your commute to your child's education.
But you may be wondering, where will the money come from for this multi-trillion-dollar spending package, especially after the country just spent over $1 trillion on stimulus checks? The answer is one word: taxes.
America hasn't had a significant tax increase since 1993. President Biden has promised no new taxes for anyone making under $400,000 a year. White House officials have said couples earning at least a combined income of $400,000 could see an increased rate, though. Taxes for those Americans could go up 2 to 3%. Additionally, corporations and big businesses could be set for an increased tax bill, too. Early indications suggest they could be raised 7 to 10%. So how will this impact you? William McBride is an economist with the Tax Foundation and says you don't have to be CEO of a company or make six figures to potentially feel the impact. If the company you work for has to pay more taxes, it could be passed on to you.
It's going to put pressure on the ability of employers to provide raises. It's going to put pressure on the ability of employers to hire, to promote.
That argument is what most Republicans will argue when the debate begins on Capitol Hill. Democrats are already out saying that Wall Street has soared this pandemic and big business can afford it. One thing is clear, though, fixing that pothole or adding that train route will be costly, and the fight to raise taxes difficult for President Biden. In Washington, I'm Joe St. George.
Well, as more businesses talk about getting workers back to the office, your vaccination status could play a role. Hundreds of CEOs were polled around the world. 91% say their companies will be asking their workers to let them know when they've gotten their shot. That's according to a new survey from global tax firm KPMG. Your vaccination status may even be what gets you inside your office building with your key card. Castle Systems is a major provider nationwide of the employee access systems for buildings. They're now allowing businesses to add that information to their key cards.
That there's huge demand for people to get back and be together physically with their colleagues. And so this is a fantastic tool to enable people to do it, but to do it only when they feel safe that the people around them have also been vaccinated.
Now, starting off, it will be up to employees to share their vaccination status. Employers can decide if they want to take this a step further and have people submit a picture of their vaccination card.
Well, there will be some people who may have some concerns, and we're starting with self-attestation, so you volunteer it yourself. I think you're going to see that this is adopted in a very widespread way because it really is what's going to enable us to get back to the office like we used to.
Now, as far as security, Castle says it doesn't store any employee information in their system. The company says it's up to your employer to keep that data secure. Time for a quick break here on Montana This Morning. When we come back, still sitting unused airline tickets. We'll have stories on that, all your headlines, and Matt takes a look at our continued windy forecast.